Hey y'all. Hey. No, because the green won't reflect. Welcome to tonight's edition of An Unscripted Beautiful Life. We are talking finding beautiful in the broken places. And we are joined by my beautiful friend, my sister, Jay Sunshine of Illuminate Your Armor. Hey, beautiful.
Hello.
Hello. So how are you?
Good and you.
I'm well. Look, I'm good. I'm great.
No, y'all, we
I
was
learned quick
teasing
on
her
that.
earlier because she was trying to sound all proper.
No, nah. We here for it. We here for it all.
Um, so thank you for joining us, Jay.
Thank
So
you for
y'all, I
having
have to
me.
give this story. Um, I don't know how many years ago we met some years ago. Well, anyway, I'll skip to fast forward to now. So, um, you Jay are one of the ones that God kept putting your name on my heart and my mind. And when I saw you at um, oh, what event? What was we at? The prayer breakfast. Um, it just the voice was louder and louder. God just kept speaking and speaking. And so I went to you and said, hey, would you speak at this is what God said to me. Would you consider speaking at a beautiful encounter? So I am grateful for one, my obedience, right? Because I kept hearing it and hearing it and hearing it, but I didn't act on it. But I'm grateful that we were in the same space for me to be able to ask you and for you to say yes.
Mhm.
So
Well,
thank
I'm
you for
gonna correct you because you really didn't ask me. If I'm being honest, you said
God said.
God told me. Right? God told me that you that you need to speak at my event. So I'm like,
I'm
okay,
trying to be polite.
okay.
Okay.
'Cause I'm like, she asked me for real, but the way we vibe, like you
Well,
asked me, but you didn't ask me.
thank you for your obedience. Okay, and my ask.
And I never said yes. My response was just kind of like, because I shared with you after that, I started jotting some things down, and I was jotting things down in my mind. I'm like, I don't even know why I'm jotting this down. But then when you asked me, it was like sometimes when God just puts those things together and they just click like that, it's hard to leave me speechless. And
Yep.
so at that moment, I was just between the prayer and the atmosphere. The spirit was high, and then you telling me that, I was just like speechless, because I'm
Listen,
like, wow, this is what I was writing, taking these notes for. So yeah, I'm honored to be a part of a beautiful encounter. It's I know it's been a long time coming for you, and look, me, I don't want to get super emotional here because it don't take nothing for me to just be, but um, we've been around each other and able to witness each other's wins and stuff like that. So for me to see this, like I jumped on my ticket quick. And then to be a part of it, I'm truly honored to be a part of such an amazing event. So yeah,
thank you.
absolutely,
So
absolutely.
listen, y'all have to follow Janelle. Because when I tell you powerhouse, fun, like powerhouse, funny, like all of the things. But what I'm really grateful for, um, you sharing the light, and this wasn't even what I was supposed to be bringing up. Changing perspective when we create our goals, because the way you taught faith goals,
Mm,
I still have it written down. And I'm ready for when you're getting ready to like really do something with this thing. So
mm,
y'all follow Janelle, because you know how the new year comes around and we setting our goals and they tell you to have SMART goals and all of those things. Janelle's teaching puts that to shame. Like it's so good because it brings in creating the goal, but bringing God in the creation of the goal. And like it was mind blowing to me. So I'm grateful for that. So y'all follow her, because when she does it, y'all need to make sure y'all get a ticket for when she does it again. So
okay. And it was funny. I'm actually I'm in I shared with you that I'm in a writing circle. It's a 12-week program. Um and that's what I'm writing about. Like I'm putting it in a book. So
yay!
I'm like, I need to get this out some kind of way, and so I'm excited. I'm really excited about that. Because I just know, so when that came to me, when Holy Spirit gave that to me, right? It was in my mind, it was for that event. And it wasn't until you shared how much it like kind of made you like, wow, I'm like, well, let me ponder on this for a moment, because God may have really given me something, because God, look, God just be doing stuff, and we think it's for one purpose, and then come to find out it's a whole nother, and I shared something with I don't remember who I said it to, but I said, oh, get ready, because it's gonna blow Smarkos out the water. Like, it's and I started talking about it, like, because I started really feeling it that way. Like, I kept looking over him, and I'm like, people need to see this. Like, people, and I struggled. Look, the whole imposter syndrome stuff, where I'm like, how could I change the course of the way people view goals? But I'm like, how could I not? Like, if God gave it to me, it was to not just for those few people in the room, it was to share with everybody. So I thank you for that, because I was just gonna fold a little piece of paper up and put it in my, pocket or wherever, look, or in my safe. I put stuff down here quick, got something in here now. But
No, it really is good, and I cannot wait
yeah,
until it like you do everything that God wants you to do with it,
yeah,
because it
yeah,
really will change the dynamic on how we go about creating our goals every year. Like, it's amazing.
absolutely. And I actually asked those who were in attendance if I said, please be honest, because I'm really trying to gauge something right now. And I said, did after our presentations, I said, did the goals that you put on your board, like, did they change? Like, did they shift? And the response was just absolutely like, yes, they changed. Like, I looked at, some things that I kind of had in my mind, but I'm like, I don't think I should put that on this board and put it on there, So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Hey family, how y'all doing? Okay, so Janelle, give us a little intro into who you are. Now we gotta, keep it up top, because we don't want to give them too much, because they need to really experience you at a beautiful encounter. But
Okay.
tell me who you are, and let's talk about the transition to your new company name.
Okay. So I am, of course, Janelle Johnson. I also go by J Sunshine. I am a licensed clinical social worker. I'm a Reiki master. I'm a fertility massage specialist. I am, um, what else? Something else going on.
Do I need to pull your bio up?
I'm like, what else? It's something else, but
Girl, you
spiritual
had a whole list of
therapy,
stuff.
yeah. It's a few things going on in his head up here and in his heart, but yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and talk about the way that the name came to be. So my previous business name was Crown to Soul Wellness. I still love that name very much, but I felt like I was having these feelings that I needed to. I guess that I was not in alignment with where God had moved me to, or where God was moving me to. And so I kept trying to figure out like how I was going to be able to put all of these new offerings into the model. Because when I set the model for Crown to Soul Wellness, it was massage, like it was strictly massage.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, it just doesn't feel right, But I was just like, okay, I'm still gonna go with it. Well, I was going to try to apply for a grant, right? And so, long story short, I owed some money, to the state of Maryland. They wanted their coins, and so my sister was like, "Well, just change the name, just establish a new LLC." And I was like, "Huh?" So then I'm feeling all like, "Oh, but it's my baby, that's my name." And so she was like, "Well, I mean, or just pay it off, do whatever you want to do." And so I really prayed on it, and I said, God, this has been on my heart for, like a couple years, like it's just been kind of on me, whether or not I should change it. And so I said, if I'm supposed to change it, I want to wake up with the name, with the new name. So I woke up in the middle of the night and I had a name, and I was like, nah, that's too good. It got to already be taken. So I looked up, sure enough, it was taken. I was like, all right, God, I'm gonna go back to sleep because, you know. So I went back to sleep, and when I woke back up, I had Illuminate Your Armor. And so I remember, so it's so clear. I just remember in the dark, just like that's like a perfect. It's too perfect. I'm like, so I'm on my phone, like, oh my God, please don't let nobody have this name. I'm looking and I'm googling. I'm looking on everything I can look on, and so I was like, nobody has that name, Janelle, because it's your name. And so I was like, okay. And so then when I thought of, what is it called, the tagline or motto or whatever it's called,
Mm-hmm.
it's we fortify your armor so that you can stand boldly and confidently on the front line of your life and win. Listen, I was in here I was praising by myself. I don't even need nobody. I don't need no music. I don't need nothing anyway. But that there, I was just like, oh God, like, so now that I have come into alignment with, because now people can look at that name and be like, what's going on over there? You know what I'm saying? Like, I wanna hear more about that. Like, you're gonna help me fortify my armor. What does that mean? You know what I'm saying?
I
Yeah.
love that when you talk about it, right? Because I think as entrepreneurs, we go in thinking that it's supposed to be one way and we try and fit it. Like Andre's always saying, we're trying to put a circle inside of a square.
Right.
And you felt that you were out of alignment, and God was like, okay, God was causing you to pivot, right? Because you had pivoted based on just everything that you had gone through, everything that you were journeying through, from adding, you started out with the massage, and then the Reiki, and then, the fertility, like all of the things. It was like the growth, right?
Right.
And you're like, okay, when you said to me about illuminate your armor, I was like, oh, that's it. Like, that's
Mm-hmm.
everything. Like, just knowing your personality and how you do light up rooms. Like Jay Sunshine, that's the most befitting name
Mm-hmm.
for you, because that truly is, like, she is a ray of sunshine. Like she's this a different side I'm seeing tonight, because usually you're like off the chain. So listen, Saturday, y'all better be in for a real treat. But
Might get it out right now, so
just
they
go,
know.
because when he start, you gonna start with him. So,
Listen,
but
I already know.
We had to have a great time.
just to see how you didn't try to offer everything under the crown to soul, and you were able to pivot. And so I want others, listening, that okay, just because you start out on one path doesn't mean that that's always where you're going to end up, because when God needs you to pivot,
Yeah.
that's what you got to do, and you got to be prepared. We might go kicking and screaming,
Right. Right.
but we have to pivot. So whatever, we've often talked about, what's the gift that you're sitting on that somebody else needs.
Mm-hmm.
And so just to be able to see you walk that out,
Mm-hmm.
I'm grateful to have a front seat.
Yeah.
So
And just not even being afraid to disconnect from things that just don't serve us any longer. Like I said, like that was, because when I established Crown to Soul Wellness, like it was like, oh, this is so, but like I said, like it just my the way that God was developing my gifts, like I'm like, I can't, it just doesn't seem like it's working under, and then like just so many things like with my relaunch that didn't work out because, and now it's clear to me now, like why, because it wasn't supposed to work out under Crown to Soul Wellness. Like now shifting to this, like things are like, I can see the momentum, and I can, like I'm starting to like actually look at spaces like for real, and look at, yeah, because I mean, like I could get a space, but it's not the space that for Illuminate Your Armor. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I believe that I don't have to rush it. That God is still gonna provide, even you know, even when I'm in that process, like God is still working. God is still, you know, people waking up at night like "There's somebody that I need to meet." Me, yeah. Do you have a place I can rent? Like that's, you know, like yeah, like you know, like I believe that kind of stuff. You know, that God is gonna. I
He
actually
will
believe that
provide.
God has already put those things in action. You know what I'm saying? Like, you
Yeah.
know, whatever I'm going through now, and this is the little part of Saturday, but you know, I'm not gonna go all the way into it. But, you know, in my experience, and I've had quite a few things that have kind of rocked my core, you know. But what I found was that God had already put people in my life that were able to help lift me up. So even when I was down, like literally, like, you know, they say level to the ground, you know what I'm saying? Like God had already put a Katrina, you know what I'm saying? God had already put a whoever, you know, just so that I could call on that person, you know, like I could, or they could call on me because, you know, sometimes I don't even reach out, but folks reach out to me. Like I remember uh, a situation where I was in a financial, like a real financial bind. And I was like, wow, like, how am I going to, you know, fix this? How am I going to get out of this? So, you know, I'm carrying the one and counting and dividing. And I'm like, anywhere I put it, I ain't got it. Right. And the next day, two people, two people reached out to me who have never reached out to me in that way and said, um, you were on my heart, you were in my spirit, you know, do you need anything? And you know what I would have normally said? I'm okay. No, I'm good. And then still been over here struggling, carrying the one and trying to divide and figure things out. But I was
Hmm.
like, you know what? I'm going to accept this as God answering my prayer. Because sometimes, you know, we ask for things from God, God sends it, but it's not in the package that we thought it was going to come in, right? So look, see, look, I ain't even no preacher, but look, what they say, I feel my help coming. Come on now, come on. Pass the plate, okay?
Hey,
So,
he can turn us into anything.
That's it.
but seriously, like, you know, and that's something, it's funny, like I always have to chuckle at myself when so when I'm talking with my clients, like my mental health clients, I always tell them, I say, you know, be prepared when you pray for something because when God gives it to you, it may not look like how you expected to get it, you know, but raise your hand if you have ever gave advice and didn't take that advice yourself. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying?
Mhm.
Like I, you
Yeah.
know, from time to time, and I was like, wow, like you was really about to type, no, I'm okay. And you over here about to take your edges out trying to figure out how you're going to get this money together, you know? And so, and it was like they assisted in a major way. And so I was just like, you know, God already got people in place for, you know, whatever we're going through. And that's a part of how I remember my beautiful or my beauty in the broken pieces. Like, you know, God is already aware of all of those broken pieces and places, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, when I'm at my lowest, when I'm crying and you know, yeah, I'm not going to get on social media because everybody's like, oh, Janelle, you're so strong. And am,
Yeah.
and is, you know,
Yeah.
but I know where that strength comes from, you know. But I also know there are definitely times where I'm sliding down the wall crying. You know, like I'm looking at my son like, wow, I'm actually a single parent right now because whew, this is a lot. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
just, you know, it's God keeps me like centered, you know. And so if I'm in the middle of the broken pieces, it's not as bad, you know, like I'm not focused on one piece in particular. Like I'm just kind of like the eye of the storm, you know, like the storm is spinning, but inside of it, like it's
it's
calm.
calm.
It's calm.
You
Yep.
know, when I found that out, I was like, wow, that's just so amazing because you look at it and you just like, oh my God, like that's just, you know, it's a lot. But like the inside of it is just it's chilling, you
I
know.
think
I
that's
can,
the
go ahead.
I'm sorry. I think that's the the beauty of it all is that when we are in that storm, right? We're looking on the outside of it like, okay, God, why are you allowing me to go through this? Like, what's the lesson in that? What am I supposed to be? You know, like,
Mm-hmm.
woe is me. And oftentimes he's saying, well, why not you? Like you're equipped for this. And so when we can recenter ourselves and say, okay, God, like you're saying, I'm in the eye of this storm. Give
Mhm.
me peace.
Mhm.
Give me calm.
Mhm.
Give me, patience so I don't have to curse nobody out. Because, whatever is needed, he's already equipped us for. It's just
Right.
a matter of us really being intentional on
Mhm.
seeing that.
And
Mhm.
access.
Because like you
Right.
said, we want it to look a certain way.
Right. And that's what when I'm talking about fortifying your armor, like, armor meaning like, your self-esteem, like your mental health, like everything, all of those things that make us up,
Yeah.
like a part of my business is I have a little something for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like I struggled with that for a while because it was like I didn't want people to look at it because, even when I became a massage therapist, people were like, well, I thought you was a social worker. And I'm like, I am. Oh, okay. Like, I can do multiple things. Like, like,
Exactly.
I mean, ain't my fault God blessed me like immensely. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, I'm
Right.
sorry, like that's just what it did,
Yep.
But, but,
Everybody just ain't tapped into their true nature yet.
huh?
I said everybody ain't tapped into their true nature yet, so they
Right,
ain't
right,
aligned. They
right,
ain't aligned yet.
right,
But we are equipped with everything. We're
right,
we're fully equipped.
right.
And when he put us in these storms, and this is so crazy because me and my coworker was just talking about this today before I came here, and he was talking about God putting them through things. I said, God put us through things so that when we do finally get to the end of it, we will still be that same person who we started, that it doesn't change us. So we have to go through these things that we think are negative or bad things. We have to go through them so that we prepared when we do get those riches and we do get to that final end point, and then but we can still go on. There's
Mm-hmm,
still more.
mm-hmm.
So if we just get right to the finish line, like the turtle in the hare, did you really get anything while you were going through your struggle?
Right,
No.
right,
It's like
right.
God is giving us a tune up
Right.
because it's thing like it's well, I'm taking you through this because you ain't forgave. You
Mm-hmm,
still walking in anger. Whatever it
mm-hmm.
is, we're going through these things, and it's like God is like, I done got your attention now. So this storm was
Right,
me having to get your attention because, like, we were out of alignment, maybe.
right,
Um,
right. And something that I always tell my clients, I said, we have to. I know they'd be just like, this lady always got some crazy kind of illustration. But I said, God gives us breadcrumbs, right? And I said, and when we not listening, God hit us upside the head with the loaf. Like,
Yep.
I'm
Only
trying to,
don't say that.
but sometimes we need that because certain situations, I can remember staying at jobs where I knew that it was time for me to go. You know what I'm saying? But something had to happen, like boom, hit upside the head before I like really woke up. Like all the signs were there, like all the breadcrumbs were saying, like, it's time for you to go, it's time for you to go. But it took like something to like jolt me, like, oh, like, okay, you actually have to go. And so I try to pay attention to the breadcrumbs now because sometimes that loaf, I don't know if bread be stale or what, but it be hurting.
There's
Italian bread or something, I don't know, but a couple times I got hit and it hurt.
you getting comfortable now. The humor coming out now.
but look, he had been hitting you a couple times. He just had to hit you a little harder because the first
Yeah,
hit ain't go through.
yeah. Like you
You
know
know?
better, girl. Bob. Yeah. You teaching others and you know better.
Yeah. But no, that's the beauty of it though.
Mm-hmm.
That's the beauty of it. So while you were saying alignment and all that, right? Just let's think about a car. When your car is out of alignment, what do it do when you step on the gas and when you hit the brake? It veers to a left or it veers to the right, right? So this is what people are doing in their lives when they're not truly trying to be intentional to get back in line.
Right. Absolutely.
Because we're going like look, man, we humans. Like we always say, life will life and God will God.
Mm-hmm.
But if you just letting life and you not letting God, you riding in a car with no front end alignment.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Or
every time you break, you pull it to the left or you pull it to the right, and you don't
right,
know why.
right, right. Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, and so like just I'm like I said, I'm trying not to give too much, but look, you already know Katrina. Like the last one of the last events that I spoke at, God literally changed it that morning, and I was like, oh, like I had this thing planned out. Like I was like, oh, okay, okay, and woke up that morning. God was like, and I was like, okay, and I was obedient, and it worked out, but but I don't know. But
I
that's
think to to know that story, and just like how many of us would have still been going with the plan, right?
right,
Be like,
right,
no, God, I spent 10 hours on this thing. This is what
yeah,
I'm giving.
right,
And you hear him saying, no, 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 I need you to speak on this. And like, you ain't got no notes. You ain't got no, it ain't print out. Like, okay, God,
right,
how am I do that?
Because he
But
got you.
that's when the most powerful message comes across,
absolutely,
because that's the alignment.
Hmm.
absolutely,
Versus if you had stayed on that first speech, everybody would have been like, what is she talking about?
It
But
wouldn't have been for that crowd.
it was right.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I agree. I agree. So I don't look. I don't know if God gonna give me a break this go around and just let me go on and talk about what He already done gave me. But we're gonna see. We're gonna see.
Look, the only way you know is when you wake up that morning and then he like,
That part.
yeah, go on with your plan. Go on with
Yeah.
your plan. I like that plan.
Yeah, but that's something that I've learned. I had to learn a long time ago to be obedient, and so like I feel like now like I'm obedient to a fault. Like I'm just always obedient. Even if it's something that makes me feel so uncomfortable. Like I'm just like speaking. Like I'm that person that when I walk in the party, it's starting. Like now we started it. Like I'm here. We can get started. But like speaking, it was like I don't know about that, because just feeling like I wasn't an expert and I wasn't, like who gonna come and listen to me talk because, you know, but the things that I've gone through and just like my ability to still get through those and still find the beautiful even in spite of, right? So people are watching me like literally like I had a friend who I saw her at a convenience store and she was just like, I just don't know how you do it. Like how and I was just like, it's God. Like I said, I wish I could bottle this feeling up and sell it to you because I'd be rich. Like it's just this feeling that I just know, like I just know that God is always going to keep me. You know what I'm saying? Like I know that I'm always going to be kept regardless of what's going on. Like I'm going to be kept, like in this protective, barrier. Like I'm good, so I
And
don't know how to explain it.
and I don't
It's
think you
hard to.
have to. I think right. I think it's hard to explain, but again, for me, it goes back to your nickname, the J Sunshine, because he's shining light on you
Mhm.
for people who are watching, because they are watching. They may not comment,
Yeah,
like, and all the other stuff, but they are watching, and they're wondering, how is Jay still standing?
Mhm.
that part.
How is she still praising God in the midst of all the loss that she's suffered?
That part.
How is she still staying positive and wanting to encourage and want to speak and all? They are like, okay, if she can do it, so can
Mhm.
I. And that's just where God is like, okay, illuminate your armor. Like I
Yeah,
just see
that
big
part.
beam and lights and like all of the things, and like how to know how God can take something that we do feel broken from. Like
Yeah.
when we suffer loss, we truly are broken. But
Mhm.
then we find the beauty in that. And the beauty of that for you is still being able to push through
Yeah.
and encouraging somebody else to be like, you know what, it's gonna be okay.
Hmm.
And
And I
people are
think
really
something that just kind of came to me right now is that I always say to people like I'm not I'm not a preacher. I'm not, like I don't claim to be a minister or whatever, and not everyone needs to stand on the pulpit to minister. But I feel like that when people can look at me and know what I've gone through and still see, okay, this woman is still praising God. They want to know about that God. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I might not be winning souls by, on Sunday morning, standing up there preaching, but I'm winning them other ways. So like for me, I'm like, that's a win for me, because that's, look, I don't even want to get into that, because that'll probably make me cry, because
Well, he's always, it's the whole pulpit and things, and like you don't have to be in the pulpit to make an
yeah,
impact, and we all aren't. Like, not everyone is called to the pulpit.
Right.
Each of us has our own gifts. Each of us has our own way of serving. Each of us has a way that we're going to be able to make an impact for a kingdom. We just have to stop looking at everybody else and say, okay,
Comparison.
what am I supposed to do, God? What do you need me to do?
right,
Yeah. Can't
Absolutely.
compare your life to anybody else's.
right.
Yeah, when you do that, you're gonna be lost,
Mm-hmm.
because your life is your life and everybody else's life is their life.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm big on this, because I have an older brother and a little brother. I was the first one to get married, and I feel like they kind of follow suit. And so one day my little brother said, he's like, man, I just want what you and Kim got. I said, you can't look at your life and compare your life to me and your brothers, because we are family.
Mm-hmm.
You can't compare that, because it's not going to work. What works for me and my wife works for us.
Right.
What's going to work for you and your wife, you have to figure that out.
Right.
I
And then
can't
some people
put
don't
that
know
on-
what y'all might have to go through to get to this space. You know what I mean? And that's the thing, like,
Right.
you want to stand on the mountaintop, but do you want to be in that valley we was in? You know what I mean?
That part
Yeah.
right there, right
Yeah.
there.
And the valley where the lions, tigers, and bears
Yeah.
are.
Oh my, yeah, all of that, right?
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
For real. But that's why I say, and that's why I kind of despise the social media, because they only show you the greats. They only show you the what they look like here. They're not telling you and showing you how they got there.
Mm-hmm.
They just showing you the glitz and glamour, and everybody like, oh, I want that. But do you really want to go through what they went
Right.
through to get there?
Right.
Are you willing to sacrifice a lot to get where you are? To get
One of
where
my
they
favorite songs, CC Winans, you don't, the cost of the oil in your alabaster box, like you don't know the cost of this oil. Like, it was high. It was real high, so I don't think you want it. Like the way that I'm able to interact with my clients, and regardless of what service I'm providing for them, it came at a cost. But I accept that, because I know that, like, I can see the bigger picture,
Right.
and I know there's still even more to God. That's the part about, that's the part about God is so beautiful, is that, like, I know, even as good as I feel now about, illuminate your armor, like, oh yeah, we're gonna hit the ground running. I know that there's still more. Like, there's still more. Like you talked about the
big more.
faith times 2 goals. Come on now, like that's gonna be real big. It's already big. I'm gonna claim that it's already big. I just have to catch up to it.
That's
You know,
it.
Like they say, continue speaking into existence, and it will exist.
That's it. I want to share this. Alicia put this up here, saying being broken humbles us to understand it isn't ourselves, it's God working, showing us where our help comes from. And that is so true, because it's kind of like he the only one. Like, he's the only one that's gonna be there to you go through something and you like, where everybody at? And in the midnight hour, when you busting tears flowing and like ain't nobody around, God is the only one.
Absolutely. Even like, like with the law. So, like, well, I don't know how many folks know my story or whatever, but my daughter passed away in 2018. My husband passed away January of this year. So of course, like, the first, I would say the first 30 days or so, folks are, I'm getting the cards, I'm getting the flowers, I'm getting the dinner, the meals, like all of that. And it's no shade to anybody, because that's just how it kind of works. Like, people, they pour into you, right after it happens or whatever. But like now, like, I still have moments where I don't feel like cooking. I don't feel like or I could use a pick me up. I do have a few folks who still, will send a card or something like that, or just, hey, just check, but it's one of those things where now I have to rely on my maker. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to really rely on God, and I'm just grateful to be in a space where I recognize that, because I feel like, I grew up in church. I was, look, my grandmother had us, my great grandmother had us at everything. We was at Sunday school, everything. We was at everything. Whatever was going on at church, we was there.
Choir rehearsal, Bible study.
Church wasn't just
Yeah,
Sundays.
Sunday school, like, oh,
Church wasn't just Sunday.
Listen, so, but I'm grateful for that, because like, just I learned so many things, and then like, just when I look at my son and like I'm teaching him certain things that that I now know were important to me growing up, like songs, just certain songs, and he actually learned Hosanna, Hosanna, blessed be the rock, in one day. And he's been singing it. Like, literally, we're just driving down the road and he'll just start singing it. I'm like, boy, that's your song. Like, you like that. Like, he can feel it. And look, now that'll make me cry if I get on here and talk about my son. So I'm not gonna do that. That's all I'm gonna say about it. I can't hold it back if I'll talk about him. But just being able to recognize that there is still beauty amidst the tears, amidst the confusion, amidst the, wondering why, like, sheesh, like, why did it have to go like this? Like, not questioning God in a way like, God, how dare you? But just questioning God like, God, you're going to have to open my eyes so I can see it. Like, I can't see it right now. Like, I know that it has to be something there, but you have to help me see it, and I think that's when I shifted the way that I spoke to God about my confusion. Because I've always heard, you're not supposed to question God. I don't believe that. Like, I just think that it's a way to do it, that still honors God as God. But, just, we're human. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're human. Like, we not, look, I know God works in the supernatural, like, there are things that God has done in my life that I'm like, I could have never expected that, but like, when I think about just the way things happen, it's just like, it's all God. It's just all God, let me pause. I gotta plug in.
God will know when you're being sincere about the questioning.
Right.
It's not, am I questioning what you doing? It's not that. It's no, I just need some clarity. That's all it is.
Right.
And when you have that personal connection and relationship with God, you ain't got to worry about what else somebody else think about what you doing with your God.
Right. Absolutely.
That's what I always see is like, man, stop worrying about what somebody else may think about if you questioning him or not. You ain't got to worry about my questioning.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't gonna affect you.
Right.
If I'm questioning him, let me question him, and then he gonna give me the answer, because he ain't gonna give you my answer.
Yeah, I just think it's one of those things that some of the views that I had just growing up, have shifted, because I've started to just like open my eyes to a lot more, so I'm like, I've always heard like, you ain't supposed to question God, but it's a certain way to question God. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna ask, but
yeah.
Put that out there.
I think Shanisha has a good point right here when she's saying that sometimes the biggest breakthroughs is when we have a candid conversation with him. It's not question, it's just asking for guidance and clarification. I think, like we're all saying, it's a way that you go in your communication with God. And like, you can be like as ghetto if you need to be, as humble as you need to be, like however you speak to him.
Yep.
That's how you go. When we try and come to him and we start, he know when it's us talking and when it's us trying to act like somebody else talking. And he be like, when you gonna be real with me right now?
He ain't gonna give you no answer.
He not
Right.
going, and so I think that's the thing we have to understand is that everybody communicates with God completely different.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
we need to be okay with that and not judge or put somebody down because the way they pray or the way they sing or the way they worship isn't the
Mhm.
same way that we do. Because
Nope.
that's we weren't
Absolutely.
created
We weren't
that
created
way.
that way. Was never
Absolutely.
was created that way.
Absolutely.
If God all wanted us to look the same, we'd all been running around here looking the same and being the same.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what it would have been. Nah, it's you gotta have that connection with him.
Oh, Shanisha, this one good too. Hold
Mhm.
on.
I was looking at it.
Okay. She says, if you don't ask
How
the
you gonna
question,
know?
how you gonna know? Didn't
Right.
he say, ask and we shall receive? And he did.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
he has to know our heart. He has to. If we can't go to God, then
Can't go
who
to
can
nobody.
we go
You
to?
can't go to nobody.
And like go to
You gonna go to
God in your
yourself.
realest and most raw self and be like, listen, God, I am hurting. I want to crack some of my head open right now. Like
Yeah.
however it is, because it's in that moment, it's in the moment when you can be vulnerable and be
That's
real
it.
and raw
Vulnerable.
that
Mhm.
he gets to say, okay, listen to me, my
Mhm.
child. Listen to me, daughter, or listen to me, son. Here's
Mhm.
what I need you to know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember when this is just like a quick example of just like kind of questioning God and stuff like that. I remember so when my husband passed away, so he was in Ohio, so like the whole process, it was just a longer process because getting everything squared away over there and transporting, it was just a lot, right? So when he finally, his body was finally here in Maryland. um, I was kind of going back and forth about whether or not I wanted, my son, I wanted Journey to see him because, and so for those who don't know, Journey he'll be four next week rather. So, so he remembers his father, but I was just like, I didn't know if he would understand like seeing him now and then, seeing him the next day at the funeral, because there's the family view and then there's the funeral. And I was
Mhm.
like, I don't know if he's going to understand that. Like, I was just really, and so I decided no, because I was like, God, you're going to have to give me some guidance on this. I was like, I don't think. And what God literally driving to the funeral home, God kept saying, you already know. Trust. No, God said, trust yourself. And I was like, no, 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 no. That's not what I want. I need you to tell me like yes or no, like because this is so serious for me. Like I don't want to make the wrong choice. Like I don't want to do the wrong thing and then end up regretting it either way. Same thing. Trust yourself. Trust yourself. And I was just literally driving like God, like you keep saying the same thing, and I need something different. Got there to the funeral home. I viewed the body, and when I came out, I was like, he needs to see him, like But it was also that part of me that was like, Janelle, you already equipped for this, like like you talk people through this kind of stuff every day.
Yes.
Like yes, this is different because this is your baby, but trust that you got this. You know what I'm saying? And this little boy, look, like I said, my son is just amazing. Like, and I know people be saying that about their kids and stuff, but he really is just like this amazing little boy. And so I'm like, you know what? We can do this, And so he went in, he saw him, and he could tell that something was different, And I'm just like, wow, look at my son. Like he knows, like he's very in tune. I'm like, he my son, so of course he gonna have some of me in him, but it's just watching him. And, we have conversations about it, we talk about where daddy is and we say, daddy lives in our heart, and so we have conversations about it. But prior to that, like I was just so stuck. How am I gonna how am I gonna find a beautiful in this, right? Like how like this is a different kind of broken. Like, we're talking about my baby, but here I am, you know.
Yeah.
Forward, still happy to spread the good news and all that kind of stuff. And I ain't ashamed of it, ain't afraid to do it, you know. And so yeah,
Because you was already equipped.
that part, that part.
Already equipped.
But not
That
even
that
just
already took and
not
told.
even just you, but Journey was.
Yes.
Even though he's only 3, about to be 4, he's still equipped to understand. Like, he's an old man trapped in a little body. Like,
That part. That part. He never lied.
so even though he may not fully comprehend exactly what it is, he knew enough
Yeah.
for that moment. And now that allows you to be able to have the conversation the way that you need to have the conversation at a level he can understand. And then as he gets older, there's more
Express it more.
comprehension, there's more ways to work it through. So,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
okay, so we've already shared. Oh, what was I just had a question and now it's gone.
I had no
You
notes.
saying hi to the people in the chat.
Hey, y'all. Oh, Tiff in the closet at work. Hey, Tiff.
I love it.
She in the closet. I'm sitting here like, dang,
Yeah, she at work in the closet.
I love it. I love it. Look,
Not Rick putting her in the closet. I done lost my question.
um,
I don't know. So y'all,
I think there's anything I can add or
if you got your ticket, you will be blessed by Janelle, her speaking, and then at the a beautiful council. Because I just know, I mean, Janelle, it was seriously like it was in my mind. Ask her, and like as soon as I asked you or told you, however your side of the story is told, my side of the story is asked. That there was peace, like instant
yes,
peace, and that just goes back to, I think, the connection that God is allowing us to have, because it's like when you and I were at the place, like, what you mean, God, you want me to speak? Like, you know what I mean? And like to be
right,
able to see how we are evolving in this together, like
right.
it's truly a blessing. And so if
Absolutely.
y'all have your ticket, you will be
Yabba dabba
blessed.
doo.
You
Yes.
you will be blessed. But if you don't have your ticket, you're gonna
Yeah,
still
get
be
it.
blessed. But I'm just saying, not in
Yeah.
the same way as those attending the encounter, but truly follow Janelle, because when she does bring out faith goals, listen, it's gonna bless your life. That's all I'm
Yeah,
gonna say.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
that's it. They can't speak on it too much, but if you ain't get your ticket, you can still get it.
Shanisha said, asking it so. Yes.
Yeah.
That's that's exactly what she did.
Cut off on it,
Cut off on what?
on tickets.
I mean, it is. So listen, Eventbrite, the deadline has passed on Eventbrite, but if you still want to come inbox me, because I do have tickets, I just gotta figure out how to get it back open on Eventbrite. But because but here's the thing. You at this point, y'all only have choice of turkey sandwiches because that cutoff has been
It.
stopped.
That's
Okay.
it.
Listen, you get turkey. If you don't want the turkey, you take
Take
the
the
meat
turkey meat
off
off
and you'll
and
have a
give it to
lettuce and
your neighbor.
tomato.
Yeah, take your turkey off and
It'll
give
be
it to your
vegan if you
neighbor.
take that off.
There you go.
But no, Shanisha, I'm not, and I have I keep forgetting to. I'm please remind me to reach out to. Oh, Alicia's on here. Alicia, can you remind me? Like I'm telling her, like to remind your husband that I have a question about streaming. I will find out, Shanisha, because I totally forgot to ask when I talked to him. Um, but we're grateful, Janelle, for you joining us tonight, and I'm so grateful again for your yes off of the ask but told. And
Tiffany is funny. Like I swear I cannot wait. Please
Hey,
point her out to me when we get there.
oh, you gonna see
listen,
it. You ain't got to point her out. Trust me. Trust me.
you probably already have seen
I'm
her
trying to
before.
focus, but I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
I'll make sure y'all all like everybody. You just listen to Tiffany.
I'm calling out everybody in the crowd anyway. So, if I know you, we about to have a blast, y'all. Just know.
Wait a minute, Alicia. What you mean you're not speaking to him at the moment? Hold on. Do we need the conference
You
you
gotta
in?
put her in. Let me go.
I'm gonna send you the link now.
I'm gonna come. I'm stopping
Oh,
past the
Lord.
house tomorrow on the way dropping the kids off. See what's going on.
No, this was fun. I thank y'all for joining us. But if you have your tickets, I cannot wait to see your beautiful faces on Saturday. If you still need this ticket, just inbox me and we can figure that out. Oh,
We're
he
gonna
getting
do
on.
it.
Listen, we understand that. She said, um, okay, final. Here's the thing. How can people follow you to when you do the faith goals or just when you do anything that you're doing? How can people connect with you if they want to
So
do more
on,
massages, Reiki, all of those things? Listen,
right.
y'all gotta get on her table. That's all I'm gonna say.
See, she said it's beautiful though.
It's
It is.
amazing. Yeah, it's an amazing table. Um, so on Instagram, it's Illuminate Your Armor. I'm still working on the Facebook page because I'm trying to switch the Crown to Soul to because I was able to just switch it, on IG, but Facebook is, they playing a little bit. So
You in the meta.
um yeah, and I don't want to lose all my reviews that I have for my services on there,
I
So I'm
might be
gonna
able to
figure it out.
show
But for
you.
the time being, like if you reach out to me on IG, that's probably the easiest way. Yeah.
Shanisha, I'll go back on the video and put everything in there because if I type it in the chat, I don't know if it really goes through all the pages that are streaming out. So I'll edit the description and
Then
include
like
it
my
in there.
personal Facebook page, that's fine too. I'll be cutting up. So
Listen, I'm trying to tell y'all
come
this
on,
the
come on
tame
over
side of her tonight. But
She waiting for Saturday, and then she gonna let it out. So
yeah, y'all in the same room. Let me start preparing let me get some oil. Who got some oil? But we thank you for joining us tonight. And we are
there.
looking forward to having everyone. Well, listen, a beautiful encounter is going to be in a beautiful encounter. That's all I'm going to say.
Hmm.
But we thank you, Janelle, for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
Um,
Thank you.
I sure appreciate you. Thank you for saying yes
yes,
to my asking, but no, told you.
That's right.
Alicia, we don't need no 3 bottles, Chef. Well, y'all have a good evening until next Tuesday. We'll do the recap for An Unscripted Beautiful Life. And then we just gonna tell y'all how good it is. So listen, if you got your tickets, y'all gonna know. But if not, y'all to be, catch the recap and know for next year. So
Okay.
y'all have a good evening.